DETV News is powered by DART, Delaware's transit service. Moving forward.
Coming up tonight, medical waste washes up on the Delaware beaches, prompting closures from Rehoboth to Fenwick Island. How long will these popular spots be off limits? Plus, a 20-year-old special education student is charged after threats cause a school lockdown in Sussex County. And card skimmers discovered at local Wawa stores have many shoppers affected. What steps can you take to protect yourself? Those stories and much more coming up tonight on DETV News. To DETV News, I'm Matt Ford. Thanks so much for joining us this evening. Let's take a look at what's making headlines today across the first state. Medical waste that started to show up on Delmarva's ocean beaches on Sunday has now made its way to the Delaware Bay. According to Lewis Assistant City Manager Janet Reeves, medical items were spotted on the beach late yesterday, Monday afternoon. Lewis beaches are now closed to swimmers, joining Rehoboth, Dewey, Bethany, South Bethany, as well as Fenwick Island. Needles and a lot of small plastic trash, some of it medical, have been reported on several beaches in Delaware. Officials are looking into where the waste came from, but they haven't shared any updates as of yet. Officials are also advising people to be cautious, wear shoes on the beach right now, and avoid touching any plastic debris. Delaware's Department of Natural Resources and Environmental Control is keeping a close eye on the situation for us, and if you find any medical waste on the Delaware beaches, they ask that you contact their environmental hotline. That number, if you want to jot that down, is 800-662-8802. And to political news now. In Delaware's 36th House District Republican primary from last week, the candidate who lost by just 12 votes is considering his next steps after being denied a recount. The likely winner, Representative Brian Shoup, also feels a closer look at the election is needed as well. An absentee vote that tipped Shoup's lead from 11 votes to 12 votes prevented an automatic recount. Challenger Patrick Smith's request for a recount was actually turned down by Elections Commissioner Anthony Albans. Smith emphasized the need for transparency, hoping both campaigns can renew the absentee ballots. Shoup has since asked for an audit and is planning for a push for a higher recount threshold in future close races, showing his commitment to ensuring fair elections in the future. And to other news now, a 20-year-old special education student from Sussex Consortium in Lewis was charged after making threats that led to a school lockdown on Friday. That was according to Delaware State Police. They say troopers responded just after 12 noon after the student allegedly destroyed a classroom and threatened to shoot staff. Authorities say he caused $1,500 in damage. No firearms were found and no injuries were reported. The student was taken into custody without any problems and later arraigned on charges of terroristic threatening, criminal mischief, and disorderly conduct. He was released on his own recognizance. And state police are also digging into a murder case that came into light Monday evening just north of Dover. Troopers got a call around 6 p.m. about a car into a ditch on East Denny's Road. When they got there, they found the driver, a 45-year-old man, had been shot. Sadly, that man didn't make it. What's still a bit of a mystery, however, is whether he was shot somewhere else and tried to drive off for help, or if it all went down while he was actually driving. Police are asking for a helping hand for anyone that may know something about this incident. You can reach out to Detective Bluto at 302-741-2859, or if you want to stay anonymous, you can do so by contacting Delaware Crime Stoppers. Their number, of course, 1-800-TIP-3333. And the State Fire Marshal's office is looking into a fire that happened Monday evening at the Waterford Trailer Park in Bear. Christiana firefighters got to the scene on the 1800 block of Sanja Way a little after 10:30 at night. There they found one trailer already up in flames, with the fire starting to spread to a second one. The crews tried to tackle the blaze from the inside, but had to pull back. They were there for a few hours, we're told, working to get everything under control. Thankfully, no one was injured there in Bear. And you may have seen the news of a change in venue for some of our fall sports championships. Here with the details on that and much more is our Nick Alessandrini. Hey, Nick.
Hey, Matt. Yeah, that's some big news. We're going to get to that here right as we recap our fall sports scores from over the weekend and also look ahead at some of the upcoming football matchups this week. So we're going to dive into it here, just recapping, of course, some of these scores. We're going to start with field hockey and boys soccer for you there. Images provided for you by the DIAA. Some fantastic work here on social. Ursuline over Brandywine 2-1. You see Sussex Academy getting a 2-0 victory over Charter. Milford also getting a victory for field hockey. Some of the boys soccer here, Glasgow, Conrad, and Sussex Academy. They pick up wins. A tough 6-5 loss for Sally's, though, against a tough St. Augustine prep team from New Jersey. Sally's still the best team here in the state of Delaware. Now, how about we take a look at some volleyball now as you see the recap images once again provided by the DIAA. We are full into volleyball season. You see Dickinson and Apo with 2 big wins there. MOT Charter, Newark with a big 3-2 win over William Penn. St. George's, Padua, Charter, Dover, and Caravel also reeling off some victories there over the weekend. Well, now it's time for some of these football scores and some recaps. They look like this. You can see all the scores from up and down the state here on your screen now. Archmere with a nice 27-21 win over St. Mark's there on the road. Laurel gets a 14-0 win over Cesar Rodney, and Red Lion wins a nail-biter at Lake Forest 27-26. St. George is a big win over Hodson 20-13. There were over 23 matchups here over the weekend in the first state, of course, getting you caught up there with all those scores. And with those scores comes some changing in the rankings. It's now time for the 302 Sports Football Ranking as we head into Week 3 this week. And we're going to start with Class 3A, where it's the defending state champs, of course, Salesianum still sitting atop there, followed by Sussex Central, Middletown, Cape Henlopen, Appoquinimink, Smyrna, and now St. Mark's entering there at that 7th spot. Now we're going to head over to Class 2A, where it's another defending state champ. This time it's the Caravel Buccaneers atop of this list right there, followed by Archmere, Red Lion, Delaware Military Academy, Woodbridge, Laurel, and then Lake Forest, rounding out that 7th spot here in the 302 Sports Super 7. And with that, we go to our final class here in the fall football season. It is Class 1A. And had new team here, Indian River atop that list at number 1. Your defending state champs, Tatnall, coming in at number 2. How about First State Military all the way up to number 3? Polytech 4, Wilmington Charter 5, Brandywine 6, and Conrad 7. And again, those were your 302 Sports rankings this upcoming week. Well, a while back, we did report that the DIAA was potentially looking for a new home for some of their fall sports championships, and now it seems that they have found one. The DIAA announced on Friday that it has come to an agreement with Delaware State University to host this season's 3A football, unified football, and field hockey championships. David Baylor, the executive director of the DIAA, made this statement: "We are excited to collaborate with Delaware State University, an institution that shares our commitment to providing student athletes with opportunities to shine in a supportive and competitive environment. DSU's facilities and resources will elevate our championships, making them memorable experiences for all involved." Well, the University of Delaware, the former host site for these championships, well, they had this to say yesterday in a post on social media, and it goes as this. You're going to see the statement that they made on your screen here now. Delaware saying, "We are disappointed that the DIAA decided to move the football and field hockey championships away from the University of Delaware. The student athletes who look forward to competing in the state's largest and most historic venues are the ones most impacted by this decision. We hope the DIAA will look to bring the football and field hockey championships back to the University of Delaware in future years." They went on to say that they're committed to ensuring the events remain affordable for fans while generating additional revenue. They went on to talk about the profit that the DIAA made over the years having their events there, including over $21,000. Of course, though, it was reported here over the summer that the Delaware was charging the DIAA $71,000 for the 4 football championships it held at Delaware Stadium last year. So a little bit of a cheaper option here for the DIAA, Matt, as those championships, which were once held at Del State, are going to head back. That's where we played my state championship game all the way back in 2013. So they will be back at Del State this year.
All right. Good news there. Thank you, Nick. There's a lot of stuff going on. I'm trying to process all that there.
There's a lot. Big week.
A lot. Big week for sure. Nick, thank you very much. In other news tonight, Newark officials have given the green light to a speed camera in an effort to cut down on speeding in residential areas. Announced at the September 9th City Council meeting, this is the city's first speed camera and will cost $28,100 this year. And get this, $111,820 next year. This move comes after growing concerns about dangerous driving, especially on Capitol Trail, where up to, they say, 20,000 speeding tickets could be issued every week. To keep pedestrians safe, the camera will be moved around to different locations in Newark once it's up and running. Mayor Jerry Clifton made it clear that this initiative is about changing driving habits, not about making money, as speeding continues to be a big issue there in the city of Newark. And the Delaware Solid Waste Authority is doubling down on its commitment to keeping the environment clean through its partnership with Keep Delaware Beautiful. This team up is all about cutting down on litter, encouraging sustainable habits, and getting communities involved in waste reduction efforts. DSWA is backing programs like litter-free school zones and the cigarette litter prevention program to spread the word and to boost environmental responsibility. By focusing on education, outreach, and community cleanup events, this partnership aims to protect Delaware's natural beauty and inspire future generations to help preserve the environment. Good news there. And state police are looking into reports of card skimming devices found at 4 Wawa stores down in Sussex County. The affected locations are around Rehoboth Beach, Lewis, and Millsboro. You see it there on your screen. Now, we want to tell you, if you use the self-checkout at any of these stores between the dates of August 31st and September 14th, you want to check your bank and/or credit card statements for any suspicious charges. The Troop 4 Financial Crimes Unit is handling the investigation and asking anyone with helpful information to reach out to Delaware Crime Stoppers. Again, that number is 1-800-TIP-3333. And for extra security, police suggest using the Tap to Pay feature and keeping an eye on your accounts for anything unusual. If you spot a skimming device, let the store manager know right away. Affected stores included are the ones there on your screen, so take a good look at those. And again, if you have visited those, be sure to keep an eye on your credit and debit card statements. And turning to other news now, Delaware's health insurance marketplace has seen a big boost, up 77% since year 2021. The program is still growing, we're told, and now serves around 45,000 Delawareans. The good news for 2025, you ask? Well, Delaware's insurance commissioner says the marketplace is stable with consistent carriers, plans, and rates. Starting November 1st of this year, you'll have 45 plan options from 4 different carriers to choose from. The commissioner highlighted that Delaware makes sure at least 80% of premiums go directly toward healthcare costs, and the state is working to address how to address a lack of providers and competition, and how that can affect your premium as a consumer. If you need help picking the right plan, local navigators are ready and standing by to assist you. Open enrollment from November 1st to January 15th, but there are special enrollment periods if you've lost coverage, moved, or have other qualifying life-changing events. Just a heads up, we want to let you know what to watch out for, something called non-compliant alternative health plans. What are these? They're actually insurance plans that do not adequately meet the needs or comply with the Affordable Care Act benefit requirements. For more information, head to healthcare.gov. And before we leave you this evening, Wilmington is gearing up for HBCU Week next week with a full lineup of events showcasing historically Black colleges and universities. The celebration, which aims to spark more interest in higher education, will feature a college fair, an R&B concert, and a block party. Many of the events are free, though you will need tickets for some, we're told. Organizers are expecting a record turnout this year and are warning that venues often fill up quickly. And some of the highlights include the Gospel Brunch on September 22nd, the 5K race on September 23rd, and the College Fair. That's a popular one, and that's going to be on September 27th. So, Nick, definitely a big week coming up next week here in Delaware for the HBCU Week.
Absolutely right. That's going to be a lot of fun. Of course, Delaware State football. And you got Delaware football coming back home after going 2-0. I heard the Eagles played last night. I don't know if it was just a nightmare.
That's just a rumor
or
right
not.
here.
Yeah, so I don't know what happened there, but we go forward.
Keep going, right?
That's right. You got to press forward. That's what it's all about.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Nick. Always good to see you on Tuesday.
Great to be back here. Yeah, on a Tuesday.
Good stuff. Our thanks to Nick, and that's going to do it for this edition of DETV News. Don't forget to follow us all across our social media platforms. for more and for updates on what's happening all around the great state of Delaware.
That's right, and do not forget, if you've got a comment, question, or news tip, feel free to send them our way, of course.
That's right. And for Nick and for all of us here at DETV News, I'm Matt Ford. Have a good night. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. We don't talk about prostate cancer enough, and it's the most diagnosed form of cancer and the second most common cause of cancer death among Black men in both Delaware and the United States. Approximately 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime, but just by asking your healthcare provider if you should get a screening could help you detect prostate cancer early and save your life. So let's talk about it. Talk to your healthcare provider today about a prostate cancer screening if you are 40 years of age or older, or have a family history of prostate cancer. If you don't have insurance, or if your insurance doesn't pay for cancer screenings, Screening for Life may provide you with the screenings that you need, and Nurse Navigators make this process easier. To learn more, visit healthydelaware.org/prostate or call 211. Ask your healthcare provider about a prostate cancer screening, and you're asking for so much more.
My name is Jason Aviles, and I am the founder and owner of Fly Yogi, and I'm here to share with you some tips to be able to help fight opioid addiction. Opioid addiction is a real growing problem here in America, and I'm here to share with you some tips that you can be able to integrate into your everyday life to really fight against opioid addiction. One of the first things is redeveloping your mindset. One of the practices that I like to use daily is meditation. And what meditation does is it brings you clarity of mind, and it helps keep you grounded, and it improves your ability to make decisions that you are going to benefit from. A lot of the time we find that addiction is rooted in our mindset. It's rooted in how we think and how we perceive, and therefore how we act. So this is a really good way to help fight against that energy of addiction. The second thing is improving your lifestyle through diet and exercise. At the very root of addiction, there is substances within the body that's causing the addiction on a physical level. When we begin to introduce healthier foods, plant-based foods, we begin to remove and detox the substances that are in our body that's causing and attracting the addiction. So through incorporating more fresh fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, grains, and even drinking water on a daily basis, you're going to put your body in a state where it's going to be able to fight the root causes of these addictions. The second part is exercise. Exercise is good for mood. It's good for energy. It's good to increase vitality. It's good to get your heart pumping and get your blood flowing and get oxygen moving throughout the body. So through engaging in physical exercise, complemented by incorporating healthier foods, you're putting your body and your mind in a state where it does not want what's causing these things that are manifesting negatively in your life. So addiction can really be decreased by just incorporating a healthier lifestyle through diet and nutrition, exercise, and then also making sure that you're tackling the mind through mindset, through meditation.